I'm Jeannie Whitebird. We've been told by our elders that our spirits have always existed and they always will. I've been told by one of my elders that Dibiki Jesus, Grandmother Moon, gifted my spirit its name. Jamanang Benase Kwe. I am South Eagle Woman. I also come, when I was born, my parents gave me the name Jeannie Whitebird. I'm blessed to have two communities. I live in a second one here in Selkirk, Manitoba, with my two children, my two adult children, Asa and Alvina Red Eagle. So we're honored to have with us a young friend who's going to sing a song. Her name is Melody Owen. She is Swift Running Deer. She's from Pangasti First Nation. So Melody, she'll be singing the water song. I'd like to acknowledge we are located on Treaty 1 land. This is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Dakota, and Oji-Cree. It's also the home of the Métis people.
Welcome, Jeannie, to Hugh at Home. What a very special opening for our show opener of 2021. It really kind of put a great perspective on people in the community doing amazing things. So we're going to go right to it. You are traditionally not a trained muralist, but some of the creations that you have created, along with I'm sure your talented crew, are totally amazing. So Jeannie, take us, I guess, through your journey on becoming a muralist and connecting art with your community in Selkirk.
Okay, so, like you said, I'm not a professional artist. I'm creative. I have a creative spirit, and I think that all of us do, but we can ask ourselves, when did that stop being nurtured? Probably in grade school. So my opportunity to enter into this kind of amazing work, this creative amazing work, it only started in August of 2018. And at that time, I was searching out for different areas for community members to do community service and volunteer service hours. So one of the things that I noticed was a woman who was painting a mural, and that's on Manitoba Avenue, and it's at the House of Economy. And it's now called Hidden Treasures. So I walked over to her. Well, I had a broken leg at the time. So I hobbled over to her and I asked her if she would have room for people to volunteer to help create this mural. And she said yes. And at the time, right afterwards, she said just if she could take a picture of me, because I had a broken leg. I was like, okay, sure. So she took the picture and she said, well, we're interested in doing another mural, and it's just right up the street in the same block. And she said it's called, the working title is All Walks of People. So she got a hold of me later on when they started doing that project. So that's where I was able to bring in some of the people, to do community service hours and to do volunteer work. And that's where my real work began. And we got to paint this amazing mural, and it just so happened me and my broken leg were in it. So
that's a walk a mile in my shoes. Yes, walk a mile in my shoes.
And it's now, yeah, walk a mile in my shoes. Don't judge me until you've walked a mile in my shoes. So that's where some of that work began. And because myself and one of the people who I brought into the project is Brad Lent. So together, he and I got to be mentored in the art of mural making, from inception of design all the way through to the installation of the art piece. So I'd like to introduce Brad.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Brad.
Nice to meet you, Brad. All right, so then I guess if we can continue on with this journey, I mean, it's been quite a journey, I would imagine, for yourself. And, going back now, there's another mural, The Healing Path, and the story behind that, Jeannie.
Okay, so with the Healing Path, that encompasses the two people, the Métis and the First Nations, who live with each other, in our community of Selkirk. So the idea was the ellipse, which is, it's the Métis sign, and it's called the Healing Path, and along that healing path are placed the seven sacred teachings, the 7 animals of the grandfather teachings, and in the center is the 4 sacred medicines. And we use those medicines, and when we come to know those 4 sacred medicines, and we walk along that healing path, and we learn the 7 sacred teachings, we are living a life of Mino Bamatsuan. Mino Bamatsuan is living in a good way. So that's one of the inscriptions on the mural. In the center of both of the ellipses is Métis-inspired floral beadwork, and then Ojibwe-inspired floral beadwork. So it's a beautiful piece that speaks to the heart of Selkirk community, and it's also the undertaking, one of the great undertakings of the Interlake Art Board.
Oh, and now the opening where Melody did her song, it was a big studio space, so to speak, and definitely there were many murals or big panels there, and so this is going to be sort of in the last, I guess, segment of photos that you sent me that will please put up, because due to technical problems we can't actually be in that area, but this is a huge project for Selkirk and for yourself and your team. So let's talk about this next huge thing that will be a public artwork, an amphitheater, so to speak.
Right. Okay, so at the beginning of 2019, the Government of Canada put out a call for proposals to commemorate the history and legacy of the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. So myself, I provided testimony at the National Inquiry in 2017. So because I was already doing the murals, I thought it was appropriate and timely that I could put this proposal forward. So I did it on behalf of and in partnership with my First Nation, Rolling River First Nation, and with the Interlake Mural Art Board, with the Interlake Art Board. And our team of muralists is international muralist Charlie Johnston, Métis muralist Ashley Christensen, and emerging muralist Brad Lent, and myself as the program project coordinator, and also person who is still learning the art of mural making.
It's hard to get I guess a scope of the project just through photos, but I can't imagine that once this is set, and let's talk about where it's all going to be, and I guess what will it mean for the community of Selkirk, Jeannie, when you unveil this?
Okay. So it's an interactive, double-sided mural art installation. So it's going to be located behind the Gaynor Family Regional Library and nestled within the natural prairie grass field. So this installation, it's going to be an amphitheater. So from the back of the deck behind the library, when you look into the natural prairie grass field, it's going to look like a gigantic turtle emerging up out of the ground. That's the outside of the mural. On the inside, when you're able to walk in and out of it, you'll see the story of the journey of Anishinaabe people, and that will be from creation to living to going into the next realm, and then into the spiritual realm. Those are the 4 segments. The 4 different colors are yellow, black, red, and white.
I want to actually go to the photo with the group photo for the murdered and missing Indigenous women. That resonates strongly with you too, right, Jeannie? That legacy and making it really more of a national call for concern and help for these murdered or missing Indigenous women and children.
Okay. So, like I said, I provided testimony at the National Inquiry. So there were 2 things that I spoke to. Number 1 is the murder of my mother. I was very young when I lost her, and I don't have very many memories of her, and most of them are pretty violent. So it was important for me to speak to that, to provide that testimony, to speak on behalf of her, because I never had a voice prior to that opportunity. I was never able to speak to it at that level. So that was my opportunity to speak to it, not just for myself, but for my siblings, for my community, and really for every other young girl and young individual who has lost a loved one through an acts of violence. I also spoke on behalf of myself being a survivor of violence. So it's important to me to create this installation. And it's not just about myself. What we've done is we've consulted with family members. We have gone into ceremony with them. Everything that's up on that mural, all those depictions are all elements of what families of missing and murdered feel is healing for them. So we collected those thoughts, in a really meaningful manner, and we sat with them, and then we created those design elements, and those are embedded into this mural.
Well, it truly is, again, incredible, amazing, fabulous what you have created. For you personally, Jeannie, you've gone through a lot of healing and I'm sure some very, very hard times. 2020 wasn't the year that anybody thought it was going to be. But by doing this and giving back, how has that changed your outlook? And maybe it was fortuitous that, 2020 is what it is today.
Well, for myself, I just feel like I am, like the mural is depicting the journey of the Anishinaabe people. You know what? It's depicting exactly what my journey is. And what role and part that I'm playing, you know, with my fellow human beings, whether they be Anishinaabe or not, you know, whether they be man or woman. You know, this is the spirit journey that I've been on, that I've been blessed to be a part of, that I am, and I am so blessed. I am compelled to turn around and never forget where I came from, and never forget, you know, that I was once there, and I need to step back and have my hand out, you know, and to help others who don't have a voice, like I didn't have a voice, or I didn't know that I had a voice then. So I do that for myself and for them.
Oh, you need to be so proud of yourself, and it's through things like this that, you know, you're able to help and reach so many people. And I think now more than ever, we all have to take that extra effort to listen and to help people share their stories. And by sharing your story, I hope it gives more courage to others to do so too as well. So what are the future plans? So when can we see this? And, you know, hopefully we can all share the excitement of being together again.
Well, you know what, we're hoping that this installation will be going up in the springtime. So we're looking for it to be ready, you know, probably by summer of 2021. We're really, the Interlake Art Board is really changing and altering the mural landscape, you know, in such a positive way, you know, because we speak to a lot of the social issues, and it's just really great to be part of a community who appreciates art and who extends the opportunities for people to come on board, to learn, to create. And then we're also expanding into other avenues too, you know, like we're doing an endangered species mural, and that's coming up. And through that, with that endangered species mural, we're also putting a call out for people to do coloring books, you know, and this is with the endangered species. So we'd like to leave our website. I'd like to leave a link to our website up so people can come on and see what we're up to, and maybe they can, you know, if they're inspired to, you know, reach out and maybe come and join us.
So what is the website, Jeannie?
The website is www.interlakeartboard.ca.
Perfect.
Or www.gwenfoxgallery.com.
Give all the shout outs you can to support the local galleries too. No, it's been just so wonderful to meet you, to meet your team. Thank you so much to Melody for the opening song. Great to meet you, Brent. And I guess, or Brad, we're going to see a lot of your murals. And it's just been fantastic. I think Winnipeg needs to have you come in and decorate our city. Because I know we do have some murals, but the invitation's open. And thank you so much for your efforts and giving people a voice.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And everybody, click on and take a look at us. And, you know, you're welcome to come out and do a mural art tour with us. So we'd love to have everybody. Thank you. Thanks for inviting us.